Hi, I'm Mark Littler. I'm an independent antiques consultant and whisky broker. Asking what a cask of whisky is worth is a bit of a misleading question because it's like saying, what is a house in London worth? You need to know a lot more specific features about that house or that cask of whisky in order to get a valuation. Broadly speaking, there are 5 important factors that contribute towards the value of a cask. The first is the distillery that produced the whisky, and then the second, and probably the most obvious, is the age of the whisky. Now the next 3 relate to the cask itself. So what sort of cask is it? Is it a bourbon cask or is it a sherry cask? And what size is that cask? Is it a barrel, a hogshead, a puncheon or a butt? The next one relates to how much whisky is inside that cask, because clearly a cask that is 90% full is going to be worth one that's only 10% full. And finally, the ABV of the spirit inside the cask is incredibly important, because if the ABV is less than 40%, then it's no longer legally classed as whisky. If you already own a cask of whisky, you should be able to get the answers to all of those questions by either requesting a regauge from the distillery, and this is where they'll test the cask again to see how much liquid's inside the cask and at what strength it is, and you can also look at the original paperwork from when you originally purchased the cask. Now if you're looking to buy a cask, all of these 5 points should be able to be given to you by the person who is selling you the cask. So samples from casks are useful, but not necessarily to provide a valuation or to give you an offer on your cask, because broadly speaking, you do not need to send somebody a sample of the whisky in order to give you an offer, because there are lots of assumptions that can be made about the quality of the whisky depending on the distillery, the type of cask, etc. However, samples are useful in the valuation process, but from a visual point of view. Now, if you take a look at this 30-year-old sample of Macallan and compare it against that 10-year-old sample of Bruichladdich, you can see that the Bruichladdich cask has been very active and the Macallan cask has been very inactive. So simply by looking at the samples, you can see and you can determine the characteristics of that whisky. You don't need to taste those samples in order to see how active that cask has been, because you can see it. Because of all these factors that we've just talked about, it's imperative that you get some independent advice as to the value of your cask before you either sell it or buy it. We've built our reputation up over the years and have got hundreds of 5-star reviews online. So if you want a valuation of a cask that you're looking to buy or sell, please contact me directly at mark@marklittler.com and I'll be happy to help.